You know what humans have wanted since forever? To live longer, maybe even forever. Kings, scientists, billionaires, everyone's tried to crack the code of immortality. But here's the crazy part, nature already figured it out. Right now, swimming in our oceans and crawling on remote islands, some creatures basically don't age as we do. Some can hit the reset button on their entire lives. Others have been alive since before your great-great-great-grandparents were born. So today, we're going to meet 5 incredible creatures that have basically hacked biology. Let's get into it. Galapagos giant tortoise. Let's kick things off with everyone's favorite slow-moving friend, the Galapagos giant tortoise. These guys regularly live past 150 years old. That's not quite immortality, but imagine being alive in the 1800s and still hanging around today. Pretty wild, right? A massive study in 2022 looked at 77 different species of reptiles and amphibians. What they found was mind-blowing. Tortoises, turtles, and some other reptiles don't just live long lives, many of them barely age at all. See, aging isn't just about getting older, it's about your cells breaking down over time. Scientists call this senescence, but these tortoises, their cells stay healthy way longer than ours. The secret is their shell. Seriously. Having that hard protective armor means they face fewer threats, less stress, and their bodies can just chill. No predators constantly chasing you means your cells aren't in panic mode all the time. Later studies found that these tortoises have extra copies of genes that help them destroy damaged cells before they become a problem. It's like having a cleanup crew that works overtime to keep everything running smoothly. So the tortoise doesn't just live slow, it's genetically built to resist the things that kill the rest of us. Greenland shark. Okay, now we're going into the deep. Picture the coldest, darkest parts of the Arctic Ocean. No sunlight, the water is at freezing temperature, and swimming through is one of the oldest animals on the planet, the Greenland shark. These sharks can live for 400 years, maybe even 500. One shark alive today could have been born before the American Revolution. For years, scientists knew these sharks lived a long time, but they couldn't prove it. Why? Greenland sharks don't have hard bones. You can't count rings on their vertebrae like other fish. Then, in 2016, scientists got creative. They looked at the shark's eyes. Inside those eyes are proteins that form before the shark is even born, and they never break down. It's like a timestamp frozen in place. By using carbon dating on proteins from the shark's eyes, scientists discovered that the largest one they studied was likely between 270 and 512 years old. So how do these sharks live for so long? The answer is surprisingly simple. They have an extremely slow metabolism. These sharks live in icy water and can dive more than 2,000 meters deep. The cold slows their bodies way down. They grow less than 1 centimeter each year. A study published in 2024 found something even more surprising. Their metabolism stays the same as they get older. In other words, their bodies do not really age the way ours do. Most animals slow down over time. These sharks just don't. Their cells keep working the same way year after year, decade after decade, century after century. Deep sea black coral. Alright, we've officially left really old territory and entered ancient civilization levels. Off the coast of Hawaii, about 400 meters underwater, there's a forest. Not a forest of trees, a forest of coral. Black coral, to be specific. And some of these colonies are over 4,000 years old. When these corals started growing, the pyramids in Egypt were still relatively new. Humans were just figuring out bronze tools, and this coral was just getting started. Now, I know what you're thinking. Coral doesn't look black, and you're right, the outside is golden brown, but cut it open and there's a black inside. That's where the name comes from. Unlike the colorful coral you see in shallow water, black coral lives in the deep, dark ocean. It doesn't need sunlight. Instead, it just filters tiny particles out of the water with its polyps. Scientists dated these corals using carbon dating and discovered they grow ridiculously slowly, about 4 micrometers per year. That's roughly the width of a single blood cell. The tiny coral animals living on the surface only live for a few years. When they die, new ones take their place. Meanwhile, the hard skeleton underneath keeps growing and building up over time. It's like a house where the people living inside keep changing, but the house itself stays and becomes stronger and stronger. The key to their longevity? Living in a stable, stress-free environment. Antarctic glass sponge. We need to talk about sponges, not the thing you wash dishes with, actual living sponges, and one species in particular that might be the oldest animal on Earth. The Antarctic glass sponge, also called the giant volcano sponge, can live for 15,000 years. Some estimates go even higher, potentially 40,000, though that's probably a stretch. But even at 15,000, think about what that means. This sponge was alive during the last ice age. Woolly mammoths were still walking around. Humans were just figuring out agriculture. You might be wondering how something that looks like, well, a sponge can be an animal, but these things are legit. They're just really, really simple animals. Glass sponges are made of silica, basically glass. They have these beautiful glass-like structures called spicules that form intricate skeletons. Some species can even channel light through their bodies like fiber optic cables, which is just insane. They don't have brains, nerves, or muscles. They're basically just a system of canals that pump water through to filter out food. But simple, they've been doing this for millions of years. One species, the Venus flytrap, does something super creepy but also kind of romantic. It traps two shrimp inside when they're young, a male and a female. They live their entire lives inside the sponge, cleaning it and having babies. The babies escape when they're tiny to find their own sponge prison, but the parents, they eventually grow too big to leave and die inside. The immortal jellyfish. Okay, everything we've talked about so far has been impressive, but this last one, this one breaks all the rules. Meet the immortal jellyfish. And yes, it's actually called that. When a normal jellyfish gets old, sick, or injured, it dies. Pretty standard. But the immortal jellyfish, when it faces death, it just doesn't. Instead, it collapses into a blob on the ocean floor. Within a day or two, that blob transforms back into a baby polyp. Then it grows into an adult jellyfish again. Rinse and repeat, forever. It's like if a butterfly could turn back into a caterpillar whenever it wanted, then become a butterfly again, over and over. Scientists call this transdifferentiation. Basically, its cells can reprogram themselves completely. It's reverse aging on demand. The species was discovered way back in 1883, but nobody noticed it was immortal until the 1980s. Some biology students accidentally left them in jars and came back to find adult jellyfish had turned into polyps. Now, before you get too excited, they're not truly invincible. Fish and sea turtles eat them all the time, so they can die. But if nothing kills them, they can theoretically live forever. A Japanese scientist named Shin Kubota has been studying these jellyfish since the 1990s. He watches them constantly, hand feeds them tiny bits of shrimp eggs under the microscope. After 2 years of obsessive research, he discovered they can reset themselves about 10 times, sometimes just a month apart. Scientists are now studying these jellyfish to understand how their genes control this transformation. Could humans ever do something similar? Probably not, but understanding how they do it might help us slow down our own aging. Alright, here's one more creature that deserves a shout out, the bowhead whale. These massive giants swimming in the Arctic waters can live over 200 years. We're talking about whales alive today that were born before the Civil War. But here's what makes them really special. They don't get cancer, like rarely. Scientists discovered that bowhead whales have unique genes that repair DNA damage and suppress tumors way better than ours do. Remember, these whales are absolutely huge. Some even weigh over 100 tons. More cells should mean more chances for cancer, right? But somehow they've evolved extra protection. In 2007, researchers found a 130-year-old bowhead whale with a harpoon fragment in its shoulder from the 1880s. This whale had been swimming around with a piece of metal in its body for over a century and was still totally healthy. Their secret? Cold Arctic waters slow their metabolism. Plus, they've got these incredible DNA repair mechanisms working overtime. They also produce special proteins that keep their hearts healthy even at massive sizes. So there you have it, 5 animals that have cracked the immortal code, from tortoises that repair their own DNA, to sharks that live for centuries, to coral older than civilization, to sponges from the Ice Age, to jellyfish that literally never have to die. I want to know what you think. If you could have any of these abilities, which one would you choose? Live for 400 years like a shark? Reset your age like a jellyfish? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And if I missed any crazy long-lived animals you think deserve a mention, let me know.